some of you have been asking, is it possible to receive personal guidance from Maitreya? Yes, it is. This is done through a one-to-one channeling session online, and I've popped a link in the description below for more information and how to book. We've got a special promo code just for our YouTube viewers, which I've also included below, and I look forward to meeting with you. Now, back to the transmission. We're going to talk about suffering in today's transmission, cycles of suffering, and how you can begin exiting them. These programs are parasitic. They eat and they take away vital life force. So, if one wishes to renounce themselves from the cycles of suffering, one must begin watching. You see, suffering is innate in the human form. It's part of human consciousness. It's part of the creation that man has made. Suffering allows for change. Suffering allows for the evolution of man. And without suffering, one would simply become stale. One would simply never awaken to the cycles of life, to living, and to the Trinity. So, the paradox is that one must become aware of suffering. Once you become aware of your suffering, of your own doing, then one can start exiting. And the steps to exiting the cycles of suffering takes energy to step out. It takes practice. It takes will. It takes the energy center of the solar plexus to completely transform one of its many layers. A little bit like shedding of a snake. And you will do this over and over and over again if you are willing and if you are wanting to exit cycles of suffering. Some humans get comfortable in the suffering and they make suffering part of them, like an arm or a leg. Just becomes a part of them and they never want to lose it. Why would you want to lose it? It's a part of you. And it's in this place where the division begins with the souls. And you either vibrate at a frequency that will be a collection of the lower worlds, or you will be a collection of a frequency in the middle worlds. And those with gusto, those with might, and those with the drive that keep on walking with their staff almighty. We call them the conquerors, and those spirits will walk free, and there will be for those spirits heaven on earth, and they will vibrate in the higher realms. So you can make a decision. If you're listening to this transmission, you have free will to make a decision of how you should be living and how you would like to be living. What is it that your
heart desires. And from that place, you begin slowly untying the knots, cultivating patience within you, knowing that the cycle of samsara can take lifetimes upon lifetimes, and that there is no end destination. If you can accept, for some, that the life you are living is one of many, and that maybe your spirit, depending on who you are and where you come from, has been here before. Some, it may be the last lifetime. But if you can just bring acceptance to where you are now, then the untying of knots will be that much more seamless. So where do you start? Acceptance. Once you find the acceptance, find a bit of joy to enjoy from the moment you wake up and you breathe that life into your body. Knowing that which you breathe in feels good, that which you breathe in is holy, that which you breathe in is sacred, that which you breathe in is everything that creates life, everything that multiplies the energy of infinite possibilities. And when you are here, as you wake from your slumber, you take another breath to know that I am. And you remind yourself, as you take another breath from your slumber, that I am, I am, I am. And you remind yourself in all of your consciousness in that moment, collecting all of your energy, knowing that in the very moment that your hand is placed on your heart and you breathe in the very life that created you, the very life that created your mother and gave birth to all that there is, everything that there is, all that you are, all that you'll ever be. Creation is upon me. Creation is within me. Creation is me. And as you use your legs to walk in all of your being, in the entirety that you are, you walk in the knowing that I am. And with every step that you take, you collect the energy of I am. And as you continue your day in the I am, never forgetting where you are, in the grace of the holiness, the divinity of all that there is. And as you bring that energy forth into your body, you transcend illusions that have kept you in the imprisonment of the mind. And as you do this with love from your heart, with the knowing of your being, of the why you are walking this path, and why you are renouncing anything that pulls you away from purity, the addictions, the deathly habits, and the poor love for self. And as you seek for higher, you cleanse each day, reminding yourself of the patience. There's nowhere to rush. There's nowhere to be just as you are, with the hand on your heart. And you continue this every day, from the moment you wake, with your hands on your heart, at the moment you break away into sleep. And in that moment, with the hands on your heart, knowing how you have carried out your day, knowing how you have imprinted yourself into the tapestry of your day. And as you fall asleep, you leave lightly. And as you leave lightly, your spirit carries out its own journey, the continuation as your body seeks rest. And as you wake again, you remind yourself in the wholeness that you are. You remind yourself of your why and the willingness, and you walk that path just as the spirits who have come to conquer. And you walk that path in your almighty, because you know that you are. And as you conjure up that energy, it becomes more and more familiar, and the knots continue untying. And as they untie, the threads feel like silk, and as they loosen, it becomes easier and easier. And there, you know, this is my way. And as the mind frees itself from the games of torture, of the constant voices of chatter, as you become more and more present within yourself, in the Almighty, you realize in this very moment that you are the creator, and that there is nothing to seek outside of yourself, and that in fact that which you were seeking was all inside of you. The entirety of the worlds that create worlds was always inside, and all you had to do was take a moment to be with the knots, to recognize the knots, and accept that your journey is the one of unraveling. And that is how you return home, my friends. And that, dear ones, is how you start exiting samsara.